You ever fire up GTA 5, get in a few car chases, hit up the strip club, go for a nice refreshing swim in the ocean, only to get chowed down on by one of those pesky old people eaters they've got swimming around there, and then thought to yourself, you know what? What if I could be the hunter? What if I could be the shark? Well, apparently someone did, about 8 years before GTA 5 was even released, and that's how we got Jaws the game. Yep, that's definitely how it happened. Now you may be thinking, who in the flying fuck thought that was a good idea? Well, like I say, someone did, and with it recently being the 50th anniversary of the original summer blockbuster, the quote-unquote definitive shark movie, I thought, why not take a look at the game? How does it measure up? Does it make us just as scared to go in the water? Well, let's dive right on in, pun very much intended, and find out. But before we do that, real quick, we just hit 900 subscribers. And well, let's up those numbers! That's not good! So yeah, if you're not subscribed, then please consider doing so. And as always, thank you so much to everyone who already has. And with that out the way, let's get into it. So Jaws, Unleashed, was developed by Appaloosa Interactive. Nope. There's another one I've never heard of. And published in 2006 by Majesco Entertainment. You never heard of them either. But as it turns out, this wasn't Appaloosa's first rodeo with the big fish simulator genre, since they were also the studio behind the Echo the Dolphin series on Sega. So yeah, I choose to believe that we're actually just playing another entry in that series where old Mr. Echo's gone mad, and instead of fighting aliens, now just wants to slaughter every human and any other creature he can get his hands, or fins on, and there's nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. So anyway, we get started, make ourselves a new save profile. Well, I guess it says DayVeeJay, so that'll just have to do, I suppose, won't it? Then we get a quick intro to show us the latest happenings in the quaint little seaside town of Amity. We've got beach parties, ooh, very nice, marine research, cool. But turns out not everything's hunky-dory, cause here's Brucey! That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the lean, mean, eating machine is back, doing what he does best. Man, the people of Amity Island must be so sick of this shit by now. I mean, how many times does this have to happen? Hell, they've probably had more shark attacks than Midsummer's had murders at this point. And I guess this must just be like the grandson of the shark from the original. And in case that doesn't sound believable, the novel tie-ins for the sequels explicitly state that all the sharks in the series are all related to each other. Oh, and Jaws the Revenge, the novel, has voodoo magic in it. Well, I guess it's no less ridiculous than the whole shark stalking the Brody family for revenge thing, and eating a plane. Oh, shit! Anyway, as usual, we first get ourselves a tutorial bit to show us what we can do. And what is that? Well, in the words of old Matt Hooper,
swim and eat and make little sharks.
Well, you can do 2 of those things at least. But of course that's not all we can do. We do have a few attacks, like our standard bite so we can chomp down on anything unlucky enough to get in our way, be it cute little clownfish, seals, or of course tasty humans. But that's not all, we do have a couple other moves. Like you've got a little charge or headbutt thing, cause everyone knows sharks can spontaneously generate force like they've got propellers in their tails, which it can also whip at people as well. You can also grab enemies and shake them around like a chew toy, just like your brethren from Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. And beyond that, you've also got your predator vision, what highlights things you can bite down on, and then you've got a targeting feature so you can focus on individual enemies and body parts, etc. Then after the tutorial, we end up getting captured by some arsehole marine biologists led by Michael Brody, the son of Martin Brody from the films, to be the next main attraction in their little deep sea circus shit. But we're not going to stand for that shit, so now we've got to make like old Andy Dufresne and break the fuck out. Well, something like that at least. So we'll start off in this bit, and how do we get out of here? What, do we smash the glass or something?
Should I use my head?
Nah, that's no good, since you can smash yourself off that glass till the cows come home and it won't budge. So what do we do? Well, it's really very simple, since turns out all we have to do is just kidnap ourselves a scientist and then wave them in front of the scanner thing to open the door. Of course! Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, turns out we're like the Sam Fisher of sharks or something. That or we're playing as one of the genetically engineered super smart sharks from fucking deep blue sea. Then you've just got to smash your way through the tunnels and shit to flood the aquarium so you can escape. Cause yeah, they made the window and the holding pen out of some super shock absorbing unbreakable shit, but then they make everything else out of some cheap ass plexiglass you can get down fucking B&Q or whatever. Watch out, coming through, out of the way. Then we get our first boss fight against this killer whale motherfucker. Not that I could tell the first time since the texture didn't load and it looked like the rainbow pride flag had vomited all over it. But yeah, there's not much to it. In fact, I'm not even sure why we even have to fight this fucker at all. I mean, he seems to have no interest in fighting you. Seriously, it literally just goes round and round and round and only attacks if you get in its way. So all you have to do is just swim along behind and keep biting it on the arse until it dies. Yeah, I'm afraid poor old Willy ain't getting freed this time. And I guess he was just like the main warden of the aquarium or whatever, because after you've done him in, the doors open and you escape. And that's when the game finally opens up and we get a look at this sprawling open world we've found ourselves in. And I wasn't kidding with the whole GTA connection at the start, since yeah, this is pretty much just Grand Theft Auto Shark Edition when you think about it. So basically, we've got this whole ass island to explore, or the waters around it at least, and you're pretty much free to roam around as you please. There's a few things to do. Obviously you've got story missions, and there's also a bunch of side challenges and collectibles to find and shit. And of course, if you don't feel like doing any of that, in the true spirit of GTA, you can't just go around being a dick, chowing down on people, destroying boats and shit, devouring cute little marine animals, which you have to do to replenish your health and keep your hunger meter full. And I get that you might feel a little squeamish about tearing apart cute little seals and whatnot. I know how it is. Killing animals is bad, but killing humans is A-okay. I get that. I respect that. But seals, yeah, they're nowhere near as cute and lovable as we like to think they are. Believe me. Oh, I could destroy your whole view of seals, otters, dolphins, penguins. How? Well, let's just say that Mother Nature is one sick bitch. Oh, and you can also get out the water briefly as well, like if you end up on the beach like some fat ass whale or something. But you've got to get back in quick before you die, by just wriggling your ass back into the sea. Can't you just be like, hey guys, can I get a hand here? Just roll me back in or something. Yeah, you can tell this is an old game, can't you? If this was made today, nobody would be running away. Instead, the daft fuckers would probably be trying to get fucking selfies with you, like say cheers! But anyway, it's time to get further into the story, and we might as well get it out of the way now. Yeah, this game, well, it ain't great. And it was here where that became apparent. And why is that? Well, first up is the controls. So anyway, we've got a bunch of guys having themselves a good old piss up on the beach, and we didn't even get an invite, so now we're gonna have to blow through and crash that shit. But first things first, we've got to make it through this fence, what you can't touch, because if you do, then it hurts you and sets off an alarm, which doesn't make you fail the mission, but it does alert the people on the beach. So then you've got to grab these generator things and drag them away to power it down, which turned out to be easier said than done the first couple times I tried, again, because of the controls. See, while the controls and movement aren't particularly clunky, they're still pretty light and sensitive, so while they're fine when you're just going around in open water, it can be hard to make small and precise movements, like what you're trying to do here. You press and hold X to swim, but you go shooting forward pretty quick, no matter how little time you hold the button for. So like I say, if you're not used to the controls, it can be hard to get in there, grab the thing and then get out again without touching the fence by accident and setting the alarm off. God damn it, Fisher! But anyway, once you've managed that, you just smash your way through the fence and slaughter all the people in the water. Then you've got these fuckos who I guess aren't happy with us putting the kibosh on their little party, and to get revenge I guess, they start throwing oil drums into the sea for some reason. I'm not really sure what they're hoping to achieve with that strategy, but whatever. And then you've got to use the barrels to destroy the massive oil refinery next door. Well, in the words of the great Ron Burgundy...
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
I mean, we've gone from crashing some little beach party to destroying an oil refinery in the same mission. But anyway, all you've got to do is grab one of the barrels and then launch it at the refinery, which apparently turns it into a ballistic missile. But that was pretty annoying as well, because it can be difficult to throw things accurately. What you've got to do is press and hold R1 to bite down on a barrel and hold it, then get yourself in position, press the charge button and then release R1 to throw the barrel. If you release the button without charging it up, then you'll just let go of it. But it's just annoying trying to hit your target because you can't stay still for long since you've got fucking police boats and shit coming after you and shooting you all over. What would you say this is? 3 stars? We ain't got the helicopter yet, so probably closer to 2. And you've got to be careful as you get stronger, because if you overcharge it even slightly, then the fucking thing will just fly off at 1,000,000 miles an hour like the fucking golden snitch or some shit, and then you've got to go and get another one. But once you finally get the hang of the throne, the refinery goes supernova and that's the mission done, and it's back to free roaming. The next mission's not much different. You just have to go all Splinter Cell again and sneak into this harbour or whatever so you can wreck some shit what's dropping toxic waste. Simple enough. In addition to the collectibles in free roam, there's also stuff to collect in the story missions, like you've got license plates, tin cans, skeletons and body bags, etc. Collecting these gives you points, along with completing missions and challenges, eating and destroying shit and generally being a nuisance, which you can then use to upgrade your abilities. You can upgrade your health, your hunger, your speed, power and accuracy. It doesn't have a dramatic effect on gameplay, but it does make things easier as you continue. As you increase your stats, you also unlock a few new moves, like you can do a corkscrew charge and you can grab enemies and then tail whip them into oblivion. But to be honest, I never really bothered that much with any of them and mostly just forgot I had them. Yeah, it would have been nice if we could have unlocked some more interesting abilities, like they should have dived headfirst into crazy shark movie territory, like, I don't know, 63-headed super mecha ghost sharknado or some shit. Yeah, that would have made things a bit more interesting. Then in the next mission, we've got to destroy a bunch of oil rigs. Yeah, the story mostly revolves around this evil, nasty, environmentally destructive corporation what's set up shop in Amity and you destroying all their shit, while also slaughtering every marine animal you come across. Yeah, old Brucey's like, no one's allowed to destroy the wildlife around here except me! Get off my turf, bitch! So yeah, we've got a nice environmental message to go along with our want on slaughter. Well, at least young Greta will be pleased.
How dare you!
Anyway, we've now got to wreck these oil rigs, which turned out to be annoying as fuck as well. First of all, because they've got fucking machine gun turrets attached to them what shoot you to bits when you go anywhere near them. I mean, who owns these things? Fucking Ernst Stavro Blofeld or something? So you pretty much just got to do the same as in the previous missions. You grab the mines what the bastards keep dropping in the water and then launch them at the legs of the oil rigs to blow them up. But again, it's a lot easier said than done because you've got all these fuckers shooting at you so you can barely get near the things or stay still long enough without getting filled full of lead. So then you're constantly having to swim away to find something to eat to get your health back. And you've got to do it 3 times for each platform, for fuck's sake. In the end, I would grab a mine and then just kamikaze myself straight into the legs to set it off. Hey, it worked, so I'm not complaining. But probably the most annoying thing about the game, I think, is the camera. It functions just like you'd expect. It follows along behind you and you control it with the right stick. That's all fine. But it's got a habit of going all screwy when you're in a tight space so you can hardly tell what's going on or what you're doing while you're trying to get yourself free. But even more annoying is when you've got it jumping in and out of the water every few seconds. See, when you're doing things like fighting ships, naturally you're going to be near the surface. And of course, when you breach the surface, the camera jumps up above. And a lot of the time, it just feels really jarring. Especially since, I don't know, you almost seem to gravitate towards the surface. Like, I just found myself surfacing a lot, even when I didn't mean to. And like I say, it's just jarring and annoying when you're in the middle of a fight and the camera's going up and down more than your Mars head was the other night. Now, you can go into first person, which does fix it, but that's still not ideal, because then you can't see as much of what's going on around you. But anyway, with that done, let's take a look at these side challenges, since they do form a significant part of the game. They're pretty simple. As you're swimming around on your travels, you'll see these white heavenly lights over the water, kinda like the god lights from Treasure Planet. You swim over and then you can start the challenge, each of which have 3 levels. The objectives are pretty standard. It's mostly just eat this many people or destroy this many boats within the time limit, with the number of people you've got to eat going up and the time you've got to do it going down with each level. Of course, many of them do put some kind of unique spin on it. Like in 1, you've got to eat the jet skiers after they go over the ramp and before they hit the water again. And there's another one where you've got to launch oil drums at the houses of the CEOs of the evil corporation and then kill the fuckers when they come running out. Yeah, you've got to throw barrels at them as well to literally burn them alive. And yeah, that's fine with me. Eat the rich. Well, we might as well have them well done, right? I didn't find any of the challenges particularly hard, but of course there were a few that were annoying. Like you've got this one where you've got to grab this swimmer and then bash her off the boy before the time runs out. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, I would grab hold of the bitch and then drag her over to the boy and smash her against it, but every time I did, I would fail for some reason, and I was just like, what the fuck? What am I doing wrong? Well, turns out you've got to do a stealth attack, what lets you hold them above the water and then you can smash her off the boy. So even though I was doing it but wasn't using the right move, the game was just like, no, that's not right. You have to do it this way. Fuck you. But overall, the challenges are fine enough, but the annoying thing is it doesn't show on the map which ones you've done and which ones you've got left to do. They all just look the same. The only way to know is to look at the heavenly light things, the colour of which tells you which ones you've done and what levels you've got left to do, which yeah, helps, but the draw distance is pretty short, meaning that you've still got to get pretty close to the things to see which ones you've done, which is irritating. And like I say, all they had to do is just change the icons on the map to show which ones you've done. Oh, and wouldn't you know, just as I was almost finished editing and just getting some extra footage, I realised, oh, turns out if you look in the options menu, there's a bit what tells you which challenges you've done and which ones you've got left to do. Well, that's certainly helpful, isn't it? But what the fuck is it doing in there? I mean, why would I ever think to look there? I was looking for something else and I just saw it there and was like, that was in here the whole fucking time? I mean, why not just give it its own fucking thing on the pause menu, you drongos? Oh, and I didn't realise until I'd finished the game that there's actually more side challenges inside of the main missions that you've already done. Not that the game tells you that until the end. Basically, you can return to the areas of the main story missions and it'll be like, oh, do you want to enter the mission again? And I'll be like, why would I want to do that? I've already done the fucking thing. But turns out, no, that's not what they mean. Instead, you just go back into the mission area where there's more side challenges to do. And it's just like, why the fuck didn't you just say that? Oh, turns out they did. And I just forgot, I guess. So, yeah. Fuck. Anyway, back to the story. And this was a load of bullshit too. So you're now after these divers, what are all bleeding out of their arseholes for some reason. Probably should get that checked out, who you've then got to chase through this minefield without setting the whole thing off. And as usual, if so much as a single solitary pixel of you lightly caresses a single solitary pixel of a mine, then yeah, you can guess what happens. So this is another bit that requires you to make slow and precise movements, which as we've already seen, ain't really this game's strong suit. Which isn't helped by the fact that you're fucking horizontal instead of vertical, so that just makes it even harder for you to fit into tight spaces. And it can also make it harder to judge how close you are to things. Like you'll be working your way through this shit, then the whole thing will just suddenly go kaboom cause you accidentally bopped your nose on a mine cause you didn't realise how close you were to it, for fuck's sake. So yeah, you've just got to slowly tiptoe your way through this maze, making sure not to make contact with any of the mines, which of course is a lot easier said than done since you control about as well as that Ocean Gate sub what went crunch a couple years back. Yeah, I think it's been long enough for me to make that joke now. Right? But anyway, once you make it through that shit, you just hunt down the divers and gobble them up, and that's the level done. The graphics are decent enough for the time, they're bright and colourful, and I think they did a pretty good job of recreating the bottom of the ocean as well as the other environments you find yourself in. The character models, both human and animals, are a bit simplistic, but the camera's zoomed out most of the time so you don't really get a close look at them for the most part. Oh, and I like that they didn't skimp on the blood and gore, just like the films. You get a nice cloud of red whenever you have a nibble on something, and you see limbs and shit getting ripped off as well. All good stuff. Yeah, I promise I was well adjusted as a child. The voice acting's, well, it's okay, I suppose. And you may be thinking, what voice acting could be in this game? I mean, you're under the sea for the most part. What do they do, like Finding Nemo or SpongeBob or some shit? Or hell, The Little Mermaid? Just make it a musical, like
The land folks loves to cook. Under the sea we have the hook. We got no trouble. Life is the bubbles under the sea.
Nah, it's just the voices of the poor fuckers trying in vain to swim away before they become tasty shark food. And they're about as good as what you might expect for NPC dialogue for the time. Meaning, not very. Yeah, the line reading's pretty awkward and cringy, which isn't helped by the fact that while they do have a pretty wide range of dialogue, they seem to default to just the same few lines about 90% of the time. Seriously, if I have to hear, "never gonna make it," one more fucking time, I'll stick my fucking head in a great white's mouth.
Never going to make it! Never going to make it! Never going to make it!
And apparently the divers only have one single line, "Let go of me!" Since that's all they say, constantly, even when you haven't got hold of them. Hell, the daft fuckers will shout it even when you're nowhere fucking near them. And then there's the cutscenes in between missions to show what's going on in the human world. And while the dialogue and acting there are better, I mean they're fine enough for the time, but why the fuck are the lips not moving? I mean, did you forget what console generation we're in or something? I thought we were past the era of characters looking like they should all sound like fucking Kenny from South Park. The soundtrack's pretty good. It does a good job of emulating the sound and style of the classic John Williams theme. I like it, but it wants to calm down a shade. Seriously, you can't do anything without the soundtrack treating it as some really dramatic event. Like you'll just be swimming casually along, then you'll spot some collectible like some buried treasure or some shit. You'll go and snap it up and the soundtrack's suddenly all like and it's just like, Jesus Christ man, there's not even anything interesting going on. Chill the fuck out. Anyway, in the next mission, we're taking the fight to the evil, nasty corporation and have to destroy their totally not secret underwater evil supervillain base of evilness. I mean, look at it. It looks like the underwater cloning lab from Agent Under Fire. So first we've got to get inside the place, which to do you've got to swim around these chutes or shafts or whatever what are sucking shit in. But don't get caught in the chutes themselves, because then you'll get sucked up into the grind of things and get turned into mincemeat. Now instead you've got to swim around them to get into the tunnels where you then make your way through this maze to get to the control rooms, what you've then got to smash up by just headbutting the things, because apparently we're actually playing as some kind of fucking super Yu-Gi-Oh card cyber shark thing. Then once you shut down the grinders, you get inside the base proper where you find yourself face to face with the Kraken! I guess this is where he ended up after the Emperor's tomb. And before anyone says anything, because I know someone probably will. Yes, I know this is a giant squid, while the Kraken is traditionally a giant octopus, which is not the same thing. Look, it's a joke alright. I'm just trying to be funny. Yeah, I know I'm no Dave Chappelle or anything, but I'm doing my best, okay? So get off my back, will you? I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, now we've got to fight old Squiddler Diddler over here. Wow, that didn't sound very good, did it? And wouldn't you know, this was annoying as fuck as well. Since first of all, we're trapped in this pretty small area with this great big fucker taking up half of it. You've got this moving fan thing what'll hurt you if you touch it. And then you've got the wanker knocking you around all over the place like you're just some little fucking goldfish or whatever. And whenever he touches you, the screen goes blurry for some reason. Like what, does he inject you with fucking shrooms or some shit? But anyway, what exactly are you supposed to do? Well, bite the shit out the fucker, of course, just as nature intended. But you can't just bite him whenever you want, again, just cause the game says so, cause no, that'd be too easy, wouldn't it? And instead, you can only hurt him after he charges at you. When he does, you dart out the way and then get in quick and bite off one of his tentacles, rinse and repeat. But the fight's still not over, because after you've done that, you've then got to get the giant prick to crash into these bits around the sides of the chamber or whatever. But even that's annoying, because you can barely tell when the bastard's about to charge. He'll just come shooting at you with hardly any warning, and you've got to get out the way as quick as you can and just hope that he crashes into the things he's meant to. Then after that, you escape and the fight just ends. I don't know if Squidward made it out. I mean, you don't see him get killed, so who knows, maybe we'll run into him again someday. Then you just make your way through the base, smashing shit up until you're finally confronted by this guy, who we see a few times throughout the story, and who I guess is meant to be the main villain and boss of the corporation, who wants to kill us cause, I don't know, we ate his son or some shit. Yeah, I wasn't really paying that much attention. So now we've got to kill this fucko and escape the base before it goes boom. And this was irritating as well, because even though all you've got to do is chomp down on the guy, it was hard for me to even find him. I mean, for one, there isn't all that much to distinguish him from all the other generic divers. And yeah, you've also got a point on the minimap to show where he is, but even then it's hard to get a bead on him since he moves around so much and it doesn't indicate whether he's above or below yet. But anyway, once you finally do get your fins on the slippery prick, you gobble him up and escape the base. And that's the end, right? I mean, we've destroyed all the evil corporation's shit. Hell, the boss is dead, so there's nothing left to do, right? Well, turns out no, cause old Brucey ain't done yet. Nah, we're going after all the fuckers who messed with us. Old Brucey's like,
I'm taking you all down, bitches!
Starting with the mayor. So in the next mission, it's the 4th of July or some shit. And again, we didn't get an invite, but that ain't gonna stop us. And we've just got to chase after the mayor in his fancy little yacht, which is somehow immune to being smashed into by a big ass mega shark. Once again, just cause the game says so. But apparently it's not immune to being knocked into these barges dotted about the place. Cause yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. So yeah, that's all you've got to do. Just chase this glorified little tugboat around, knocking it into the barges until it goes boom. And there you go. There's a 4th of July for you to remember, you fuckers. And after that, it's time for the final showdown. Yeah, I guess since we took out the mayor, it's all hands on deck and they're hitting us with everything they've got. Which amounts to just a couple ships and helicopters. Wow, real Spanish Armada you've got yourselves there, guys. But despite that, this was one of the most annoying parts of the whole game. So basically, we've got 2 ships coming after us, one bigger and one smaller, and then a load of divers and submarines and shit under the water. The guys on the smaller boat have stuck us with some kind of proximity mine thing, so if you move too far away, then... So you've constantly got to be watching the radar to make sure you don't get too far away from the boat. And that's the boat you've got to destroy. You can sink the big one, but you don't actually have to. You've just got to go for the small one, which once again is easier said than done, cause there's guys with shotguns on board who'll blow you away the second you go near. Yeah, you can eat a shot from a bazooka and only lose a bit of health, but a couple shotgun blasts is all it takes to make you go belly up. So your best chance is to attack the front half of the boat where you've got less chance of getting hit, and then swim away and find something to eat before going in again. But you've got to be careful when getting close, cause they can also stick you with these floating yellow things what drag you up to the surface, like what they use in the first film, so that's something else you've got to watch out for. But anyway, you sink the boat, Michael Brody escapes cause, I don't know, I guess you can't have the son of the hero of the original film get killed by the villain of the series. And yeah, that's the end. The story just stops after that. No one else comes after you. You're still free to roam around, do side challenges and terrorize the people of Amity. I mean, if you really want to. So yeah, I guess the island's just ours now. We're the king of Amity, apparently. All hail King Brucey the Toothy. May his reign be long and bloody. So what's next on the horizon for old King Brucey? Well, I guess he'll just have to find another island to conquer.
Playing a game or you playing a game? Imagine, guys, if I didn't hear that. He's obviously not...
So that was Jaws Unleashed on PS2, and in conclusion, meh, it's okay I suppose, at least for back then, but it hasn't aged all that gracefully. The novelty of playing as a super intelligent mega shark and going around causing chaos GTA style is interesting and was fun at first, but it didn't take long to wear off, especially since the controls and camera can be pretty annoying and the basic gameplay doesn't take long to get repetitive. There's not much to do outside of the story missions and challenges except go around sinking boats and eating people and then getting shot up by the Coast Guard. The story missions are interesting and varied enough, even though they mostly amount to just throwing barrels to destroy shit, and the aforementioned controls and camera make them way more frustrating than they have to be. The graphics and soundtrack are decent, but the voice acting's cringe as fuck, and the cutscenes are pretty shoddy and just kinda feel cheap, to be honest. It received mixed reviews at the time, and it's not hard to see why. I remember playing it back in the day and not thinking all that much of it. So yeah, like I say, it's okay. It can be fun when it's not being annoying. It's not something that I'd recommend, unless you're a fan of the films or just intrigued by the concept. Although then I'd probably say just go and play that Man-Eater game what come out a few years ago. I mean, I never played it myself, so I don't know how good it is. So yeah, take from that what you will. And that's that. Well, there's my review of Jaws Unleashed out of the way. I hope it didn't make you scared to go in the water. Actually, that's a lie. I hope it did. Oh, and I hope you liked the little Love Island skit at the end. Because now my fucking YouTube recommendations are full of clips from that fucking dreck. So it better be fucking worth it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then leave a like. If you didn't, then allow me to show you my personal Shark Tank. If I had one. We're still trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and we're getting pretty close, so if you enjoy my content and have yet to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it if you would do so. And as always, thank you so much to everyone who already has. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next one.